Australia has a very large infrastructure deficit. It's around $770 billion, which is a significant number. It's the same size as the annual GDP of Switzerland. In fact, with demographics, we've got an ageing population, an increasing population and an increasingly urbanising population. And what that means is that gap's actually widening. In terms of growth alone, we're looking at another 12 million people over the next 30 years. And what that means is we're adding the equivalent of another city like Canberra every year. So Canberra has 150 schools, 5 hospitals and 2 prisons, so it's a significant amount of infrastructure to need to add to the system. There's 3 key things that we can do to address the issue. The first is broadening out the market, the second is improving the process, and the third is tapping the private sector for innovation. So for the first, the deal sizes have been increasing. They've doubled to about 750 million. It's fine to do big deals, but we also need some smaller deals to invite smaller participants into the market. So that's something that we'd like to see, and that will bring in more sponsors and developers and allow more projects to be delivered in parallel. In terms of processes, we want to see shorter bid times. Again, bid times have doubled. As projects have increased in size, the cost of bidding them has increased, and that again has deterred people from entering the market. We want certainty around the process, which means that we need a bipartisan support for projects once they're announced. So I think that helps in terms of process. In terms of tapping the private sector, you can see what the governments have been doing around social impact bonds, social benefit bonds. They've been setting challenges for the private sector and saying, can you do this better? What innovation can you bring? The same can be done with infrastructure. So we've seen New South Wales challenge existing state procurement. With John Moroney and other processes, we can do more of that to help bring private sector innovation to public infrastructure. If we don't address this issue, what we're going to see is an impairment of our standard of living and an impact on our growth. So this issue fundamentally feeds economic growth and standard of living. We have some of the most livable cities in the world, and we'll cease to have those if we don't rectify this situation. So Alan's advises on infrastructure projects around the country and around the region. And we've started to see some patterns developing. And when we look at the research that we've done around these issues, and we combine it with our experience, it indicates that there's something that needs to be done urgently.